to ask her because
yeah.
I just find it. These are the kind of questions that I start asking myself, and then I kind of go, so why is it that people get so hooked up on what it is, when in actual fact, and for me, all of it is, it's symbolic, it's metaphorical, it has different meanings for different people. It is in many ways whatever you create it to be. So let's all create it for the positive.
Okay. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I was just talking to Wendy there about things, and about astrology and everything. Anyway, I'd just like to thank Yasmin Lewis, who came down all the way from the north down to see me the other week. I've forgotten to tell everybody. So thank you for that, and it was lovely to meet you. And you gave a talk at our group, which was really lovely and very good. Right, okay, I have got Wendy here now. And so you're talking about gratitude today, yeah?
I
Yeah.
Yes, I am. Yes.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna let you go, and I'll be back in a while.
Okay, I'll give you a scream when it's time, or if I get stuck, or if I run out of things to say, which is highly unusual.
I don't think that's your case.
It is sometimes, but we'll see. Right. Okay, then, Steve. Thank you so much. And thank you, and welcome to everybody. Welcome to this Crossroads podcast. I'm Wendy Panther, and I am a spiritual counsellor. And today, what I'm going to talk about is, as I've said, one, it's the summer solstice, but I am not an expert on things astronomical. I am not an expert on, I tend to follow what my guides do for when I'm supposed to do things and whatever. So, like, it might be on a certain day, they'll kind of guide me to do a card reading for people, and on another day. And today, they've guided me towards talking about the aspect of gratitude. And gratitude, especially, I don't know how many of you have heard of the law of attraction, but one of the things is that what we focus on is what grows. So if we are constantly focused on negativity, if we are constantly criticizing ourselves, if we are constantly being in lack mentality, and this is not only about finance, this is about the good things that are happening to you in life, then what it does is it has an impact on your vibration. It has an impact on your sense of well-being. It has an impact on you physically. It has an impact on you psychologically, and it also has an impact on you spiritually. And what it does is it separates you from your true source. It separates you from the connection that is a heartfelt connection, a heart-to-heart connection with yourself, with each and every other person, because we are all part of that same big energy soup. And we are all part of that soup, and we are all part and parcel. So therefore, everybody, oh, nearly bit my tongue then. Everybody has a connection to everyone else, and whether we like them or whether we don't. So I'm kind of getting distracted, but that is so if we're going down the negativity route, we create a self-fulfilling prophecy, and whether we create it energetically or whether we create it psychologically by simply not sorting for what's good, the results are the same, is that we end up in a downward spiral. So we don't want to be in a downward spiral. We actually want to be in an up spiral. But the brain, not the mind, but the brain and our survival instincts are built, for want of a better description, to focus on the negative for survival purposes. So when you, so the prospect of shifting the kind of downward spiral and changing it to an upward one, it does take more momentum. And it does take more commitment, and it does take more energy to do so. And I'm having one of my little shivers there. That's a kind of spiritual confirmation from my body, from my mind, from my soul, of the confirmation of that this is a truth for me. So and I often find that when I'm doing these talks to you folks, it's often a talk to myself that I need to be listening to as well. So thank you very much. So gratitude. So one of the best ways of breaking that cycle and getting into the momentum of uplifting thought and uplifting actions and joy in life is through gratitude. Now, some people may then go, well, what is there to be grateful for in this world? Look at what's happening. We're losing, we're in this raising spiral of money. We've got, can't afford to run my car. I can't afford to do this. And as soon as you start focusing on what you can't do, you're reinforcing more things of what you're not going to be able to do. So the challenge for today is to focus on the positive. Now, I don't know how many of you are there, but what I'd like you to do if you are is one of the best ways of starting to focus on the positive. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a gratitude meditation partway through this little chat so that you can all have a conversation with yourself for what you can be grateful for. But if you're not sure of anything to be grateful for, and this may sound kind of very blasé and very whatever, is the first thing to be grateful for is that you're alive, that you're here, that you're experiencing this life. And this life is a miracle. The very fact that an egg from your one parent and the sperm from another parent came together, fused together, and created this thing we call life is a miracle. And I was incredibly privileged as a midwife to see this miracle happening over and over and over again, and to see the outcome of this miraculous thing called childbirth, and to see the start of this miracle that is life. I was also a nurse, and I was very privileged to see the end of this miracle we call life, of when people departed from this life. So literally, I have, throughout my life, been involved in helping people from the start to the finish of their lives. I have been privileged to be able to assist people in many, 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 many different ways throughout that period of time. And it's the kind of thing, so when we're talking about gratitude is often an aspect of perception. And I hope this one doesn't blow your minds a little bit too much. But for example, as a nurse, or as a carer, and all of you that are out there doing that job, I think you're absolutely, utterly amazing. We have, and me speaking as an ex-nurse and as someone who has been in the position of wiping people's bottoms very many times in my life, the notion of us assisting people in their most intimate care needs. So, for example, so when I talk about for the elderly residents that we used to look after, many of them unfortunately were incontinent, and as part and parcel of that of their continence care, and to maintain their dignity, they would wear continence aids, and it would be the nurse and the carer's jobs to assist them in either going to the toilet or assist them in cleaning and cleansing following any episode of incontinence. Now, for any of you that have ever experienced that situation, you can only imagine the embarrassment, and the disgust that it fetches for some people. The very fact of kind of going right that bottom, what, me? No, go and take them to the toilet, what? And how some people have been known to avoid it and let other people go and do that job. And it's the kind of thing that I used to teach the student nurses and the students and the other nurses that kind of go, we are so privileged to be able to give intimate care to someone, to do something for someone that I don't know how many people that you would let look at your bottom. And that's not a question that I want you to answer in the things either. But we don't let, it's not a common thing that we let other people deal with those intimate aspects of our life. So when I'm talking about gratitude, I go, I am thankful for having had the privilege of doing that job. It's not that I resent. So there are others that might go, oh no, I'm not going to clean anybody's. Oh, that's disgusting. Think about it. Really think about it on the level of humanity of one person to another. How giving care to someone. So, and I know there's lots of you that are out there who are responsible for giving care to your parents, responsible for giving care to your partners, responsible for administering care to an ill loved one. And and I know at times it can feel such a heavy burden. And I just want to kind of insert that attitude of thankfulness of being the person who can actually assist someone in that role, because it is indeed a privilege. So back to so I think that's and I think what I want to do now is kind of go, when we talk about gratitude, again, where do you start? Well, it's the very fact that you're alive, that you're living, that you've got lungs to breathe with, that you've got food to eat, and I hope that most of you have, that you've got water to drink, and most of us in the Western Hemisphere do have these things that I'm talking about. I am incredibly grateful for the fact that I have. I mean, I joke about my legs because they're not my favourite part of my body, but they do a damn blooming good job. They've kept me going for how many years? So it's the kind of thing that at any point, when I said earlier about, if you find yourself being negative about yourself, so like I've just said that, it's now the job to then find at least 5 things that are positive. So the moment you hear yourself or become aware of yourself making a negative comment in your mind about yourself or about others, my challenge is that you then think of 5, and it's at least 5 things not to counteract or to balance that statement. So even if it's not counteracting it, so it would be to balance it, because ironically, as human beings who are programmed to kind of focus on the negative, we need 5 positives to balance 1 negative. So when we talk about being in balance, folks, like I said, the momentum is, it's much, much easier to move into the negative than it is to get back into the positive. And so to get you into that positive, so I always say start with the small. So we start with the small things that we're grateful for. Start with the little things, how you, and then build it up. So what I'm going to do now, for anyone that's listening and anyone that comes in between times, I do hope that you don't kind of go, oh, what on earth is this about? But what we're going to do is we're going to do a small. It's not a meditation, but it is a gratitude exercise. And it's a gratitude exercise for the body that you've been given. So first, I'd like you to get comfortable, and as comfortable as possible if total comfort isn't available. And just take a nice deep breath, breathing in and then breathing out. And a nice calming breath. So this isn't a forced breath. It's a nice, long, gentle breath, breathing in and breathing out. And now I just want you to say, thank you for my breath. And we're going to take you down first to your feet. And I want you to just concentrate, allow them to relax, and focus on, and become aware of your feet and your legs. And allowing them to relax, I just want you to take that another nice deep breath. And consider, thank you for my feet. Thank you for the gift they've given me of being able to walk. Thank you for the miles that I've travelled. Thank you for the miles that I've walked. Thank you for my legs. And me going, mine might not be the most beautiful. Thank you for the gift that I have been given of my legs taking my weight and carrying me through life. Thank you for the places that my legs and feet have taken me. And connect to the most joyous places that your legs have taken you. And now we're going to move up into your torso. And thank you for the skeleton, the hips, the spine, the ribs that support you, that hold you up, that protect your organs. And thank you for, we're now going internal. So thank you for my sexual organs. And I give thanks personally for my daughter who was gestated and carried in my body for those 9 months prior to me giving birth. For you gentlemen, it's just to thank you for the ability that you have to bring life, to give life, and to father a new little being. And now as we move up, we go to our bowels and our gut. And thank you to the gut for being able to absorb, to digest, to give us our gut feelings, to give us our responses, to keep our system cleansed, to stop us becoming all blocked up, to eliminate waste from our lives, from our bodies, from our minds. And thank you to all those thousands and thousands and millions, actually, of bacteria in my gut and in your guts for helping to digest all that comes through, all that travels their way. And thank you to your liver and spleen. Now, your liver and spleen are the detox centres of your bodies. So thank your liver for detoxing, for dealing with any chemicals that come through, because we do live in a chemical-filled society, that it's able to sort and process and eliminate those from your body. Thank you to your spleen and liver for helping to do just that. And now let's go to the kidneys and the bladder. And the kidneys are an amazing filtration system that allows us also to eliminate further toxins and further chemicals that we don't actually need in the body, and that helps us to keep our blood in balance and our body in balance. So thank your kidneys for the production of that urine, and your bladder for being able to hold it, and then for the whole of the system for that kind of lovely relief feeling as and when we go and release it. And now thank you to your heart and the circulatory system. Thank you to your heart for pumping that blood that reaches every single cell in your body. Thank you to the heart that allows you to send love to every single cell in your body as it pumps that blood around. So just imagining the love that comes from your heart traveling as it goes around your body, allowing that love to be in constant circulation. And as it's in constant circulation, it allows and promotes healing within your body. And thank you to your lungs for bringing in that air, that the oxygen, the life-giving oxygen that we all need to keep. We can live without food for a long time. We can live without water for a long time. We can live without oxygen for just over 3 minutes. So give thanks for the oxygen that you take in. Give thanks for the lungs for absorbing that oxygen, for then passing it over and into the circulatory system, and the heart allowing it to taking that system and taking it all throughout your body. Thank you to the lungs for their expansion, for allowing us to breathe the air that we breathe. And thank you for the air that we do breathe. And thank you to your throat, your voice, for being able to express with joy in living, for being able to express how you feel, for being able to express those emotions that are part and parcel of your body. And now thank you to the endocrine system. Now, if anyone's wondering what that is, it's your hormone system. And it's spread in different places throughout your entire body. And we'll not go through each particular gland, but thank you to the pituitary gland, which is the orchestra of all of the other endocrine system. And thank it for directing and guiding your hormones. And thank it for being able to switch your hormones to the systems that are needed. And thank it for providing those hormones that help your body and keep balance within your body. And it's awake 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it helps keep that regulation going. And thank yourself as you become more aware that you can personally take control of these hormones, and that in relaxing and thanking your body right now, you're actually starting to take control of those hormones and releasing those hormones that are good for you, those hormones that will produce healing, that will promote healing, that will allow your body to do what it does naturally, which is to heal. And now let's thank our nervous system. And sometimes, especially for those of us that may experience anxiety at times, we may not give that as big a praise as we'd like, but our nervous system that takes in all of our senses, that takes in all of our details, and that takes in all of the information to the brain. So all of the nervous system that's present in the skin, in the body, in the brain, that goes out, that manages to help things move, that allows you to feel, touch, experience sensation. And thank your system for all that it does, for the messages that it sends, for enabling you to be able to move through this world in the way that you do, to be able to take in information, to be able to absorb information, to be able to filter information, to be able to guide. And as we sort and filter that information, thank it for being able to sort and filter the information for your greatest good. And now another deep breath and a thanks for that next breath. And is there a system that we've not mentioned? I don't think so. Oh, the muscular system. Thank you for all the muscles and the attachments that there are throughout your body that help hold you, that your skeleton holds all over covered, that's nicely covered via your skin. And your skin is another full system. But thank you to every single entire system, from the tip of your toes, all the way up through your body, through your torso, all the way up to the top of your head. Let's give thanks for everything about us. Let's give thanks for what we've learnt from our bodies throughout our lives. Let's give thanks for what we are able to do. Let's give thanks for how we've learnt to adapt, cope, manage when we're not able to do. But let's give thanks mostly for what we are able to do. Let's focus on our full capabilities. And I'd like you to now think of 3 specific things about yourself that you're truly grateful for. It might be your eyes, it might be your nails, it might be your skin, it might be your teeth, your lips, it could be absolutely anything, anything. It might be your personality, it might be your sense of fun, it could be absolutely anything. But I want you to just think 3 things about yourself that you are totally grateful for. And just give thanks. And I do hope that nobody's just walked in on that long silence. And now take that another nice deep breath and bring yourself back to an alertness, to an awareness, to a brightness, to a joyousness, to a happiness, to a liveliness, to a joy, to love, and to your room, into the room, and to whatever is happening for you. And I'd like you to thank you for taking the time for doing that. And I do hope that you've enjoyed it. And if you want to take time, and if you take time out to do, I mean, I think it was about 5-10 minute exercise that. If you can take time out to do that, whenever you're feeling a little down, then that will help in building up your positivity bank. Another nice way of giving gratitude is if you get yourself a jar, you know, one of those jars with the lids on that you can, a nice big jar, and have at the side of it a list of a pile of post-it notes. And this is one I've never done, but I do. Others tell me so beneficial, and I've just never got around to doing it because I'm not right disciplined. But you might have guessed that anyway. And I want you to write on it at the end of each day, as you've done today, just 3 things that you're grateful for that day. Just 3 successful outcomes. Even if it's literally I've survived today, if it's been a particularly rough one, put the date on it, and then just put those 3 things, and then just put it in the jar. And on a down day, just go and get that jar and start reading through those things. The things that you do find that you can be grateful for, because a lot of it is about our perception, and it's where your attention goes, energy flows. So it's about being able to direct your attention in a way that isn't about focusing on the stuff that's bringing you down. And it's not saying don't do something about what's bringing you down. It's saying do that and then move on. And one of the ways of helping you to move on is to link into what you are grateful for. So I'm just going to give Steve a shout that we're nearly at the end, and I'm going to ask him what he's grateful for today. I can't hear you. You're on mute, Steve. You're on mute.
Okay, you go. Right, I'm
So
grateful
you're
for.
grateful for.
I'm grateful for my wife, for my
Lovely.
family,
Mm-hmm.
for my friends, because I only got about 2 friends, and um, and that's it really. I'm just grateful for everybody,
Good.
and that's it. I think we all need to be grateful and for what we got, because at the end of the day, there's other people that hasn't got what we got,
There's a
and
lot that would like to be in your shoes, yeah.
yeah, so we should be grateful every day for even got a roof over our head, because there are people out there who has not, and so we need to be grateful for that.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really good, really good.
Guys,
Well
did you
done,
get?
Wendy.
Thank you so much. I just love doing things like that.
While you was doing the exercises, breathing in and breathing out, I was like going, then all of a sudden I nodded off, and Michelle said, "Wake up."
But that's it. When you relax properly, that just can happen. And if you need the rest, then you need the rest, and it's as simple as that.
Yeah, yeah. I nodded off, and she said, "Wake up, wake up." So, but
Yes.
anyway,
So
but that was really good. That was really good.
yeah, yeah. I didn't know if I was going to manage to, but because I thought, oh, how can I talk about gratitude for half an hour? But actually, that took a good 10 minutes, I believe. Yeah.
Gratitude is really good to kind of like talk about every day because we need to be grateful every day when we wake up in the morning and when we go bed at night because you
Mm,
never know.
mm. I know it was. I mean, it goes back way back to my godparents when we used to have a caravan in Bradwell, and my uncle Harry used to open the curtain. He'd go, "Good morning, world," and my little grandson now he'll do saying, "Good morning, world." So I think it just shows the things that carry on, isn't it, through families and through the rest that go with it.
You know
So
what? I can't. Where I live, where I live in Exmouth in Devon, I I go out sometimes down the old cycle track. It's called. Well, it's called the cycle track, but it used to be years ago. It used to be. Sorry, someone taking my nose. Um, it used to be like an old railway track,
mhm,
and I go down on that, and I'm thinking, and I go past it. You see all the animals in the field and everything, and you're just thinking, the birds, you know, the birds every day it's got to go and find their food to live,
mhm,
and we're so grateful that we got food and everything. I hope so anyway. But
mhm,
most of us have got food to eat and everything like that. But those birds in those trees and everything, they got to go and find food for their for the little ones and for everybody. And I thought to myself, yeah, we need to be grateful more about everything that we got in this world.
I'm incredibly privileged that the house that I live in, I've got all different kinds of birds that visit me. So I've got a little robin that comes regularly. I've seen thrushes. I've got a blackbird that comes regularly. I've seen starlings. I've seen sparrows, and we have the ever dreadful magpie. But then again, that's not fair on magpie, is it? But they do make such a row. Um,
Yeah,
uh, And given that this is the longest day of the year, longest day, shortest night of the year, this is when I have been waking up at. Somebody said, "Oh, what were you doing awake at 4 o'clock in the morning, Wendy?" And I kind of went, "Well, I was sleeping with my windows open, and it was the dawn chorus because I hear the
uh,
birds." And when I used to work on night
yeah.
duty, and I used to love hearing the dawn chorus. I think mainly because it was another day coming, and plus it meant it were getting close to end of my shift, and I could go home because I just did not like working nights. Um,
I
but yeah,
know, I know,
but to
I
hear the
know,
dawn
and
chorus, I
it's
just is one of the just it's just one of the magical moments of each day that I lay there and listen to the dawn chorus.
yeah. When we got our windows open in the living room and everything, and we're back, and we got trees behind us, and
Mhm,
great, and you got all the birds in there, because they've been nesting and all that.
mhm,
And sometimes you got one particular bird who'll start whistling, and it'll come up with a song. And we're both of me and Michelle would whistle along, and then it'll whistle back, and then it'll whistle. And I'm thinking, God, how grateful that we got, birds like that, and things around, about the animals and everything that we see every day. We got, it's a lot of people are not grateful for what they got, and it's a shame, they don't realize that there's other people in this world that's suffering,
I
and
think.
in this country.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's not just. It is the fact that society it's pushed and pushed and pushed to point out to you what you've not got because it's about buying and the only way that you start buying is when you've got a sense of lack that you want to fill that.
Yeah,
So if you're full of gratitude and it's amazing that I think once you do kind of get the energy of gratitude, then things just start coming to you. They just start coming.
yeah. I when I moved here to Exmouth, I wanted something to do, and I I now, because I've suffered with stroke in the past, I run a stroke club here, and and I thought I would never get this. I was saw it in the paper. I thought I won't get this position, never get it. And
Mhm.
next minute, I went for an interview, and this 88-year-old man called Len, when I first met him, I thought he said, "Well, I've got three people that applied for it," and he said, he said, "Okay, it's yours. You can have it." And okay, we had some problems in the beginning and everything, but I was grateful because I could start going out there from being when I was younger, being a horrible person and my attitude was bad to something now that I'm grateful for because I'm grateful for people who who are trying to help others. And if we can help one person in this world, then I think we did our jobs. You
Mm.
know what I mean? You
I
know?
think you're helping a lot more than just one person, Steve. With these channels that you've set up, I think you're doing
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
far more than just one person.
Well, we do a lot of stuff. We do the stroke club, but we also kind of like do a food bank after the stroke club. So a lot of food gets delivered to us on a Wednesday after our stroke club. So
Are
my
you
wife
finding
stays.
there's an increased demand?
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. And the trouble is, so what we do is that my wife stays because I got to come back. 'Cause I got to do podcasts. But my wife's got and my dad and everybody else. They've got to bring all the food into the centre. You know, and there's another food bank which is actually in the building, but our food is given to the stroke members, or we make meals out of it,
Hmm.
for their dinners. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we use the food for their dinners, which is not outdated. It's nothing like that. So so that's what we do. So the food bank would go to us. Well, Steve, we are struggling. And I said, well, yeah, yeah. And so what I do is if the stuff that we don't want, we give it to them next door,
Hmm.
right? And it helps them quite a lot. The trouble is, though, there's a big need at the moment. Everybody is struggling with the bills, with food. You know, you get one or two will kind of like come in and say, I ain't got no food, but you know that they have got food because you see them about, up the supermarket and things like that.
Hmm.
And there's people that who's been in and they've got their family members to come around and get some more. No, that's not fair, right? I
There's
don't
not a lot
believe
you
that's
can do
fair.
about it, and I think, and I just kind of go calm as a beach.
Well, yeah, but
What
it's
goes around
calm is
does come around. So let's,
yeah, it's calm, yeah.
and if we can just see the best in them, even though it's not always easy, it's very hard that, I mean, they've obviously got a sense of fear of running out to at some level to need to do that. Even if they're doing it to stock up, there is a fear that is operating behind their actions. And when we're fearful, we don't make wise decisions.
Okay, okay. How about this then? So, if you got people who's kind of like going down to a food bank, getting food off, getting food, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden, all what people are thinking about is their next fix or the next bottle of drink, then surely that's not on, is it?
It's difficult because where addictions are concerned, they're not usually consciously controlled.
Right. Okay. How about, yeah. Right. Okay. Okay. Uh, yeah. Yeah. But
It's
the
not
trouble
it's
is,
not logical for them to do it, but addictions are not logical.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'd rather have some food than any alcohol if I was in a desperate situation. You know what I mean? Um, but
I had a friend
yeah.
who, I mean, she's no longer with us, God bless her. Uh, but she hid her well, she hid the majority of her alcohol addiction until it actually killed her. But She she lived off alcohol. She did not eat.
Yeah, yeah.
But there is
We've
some
had.
nutrition. There is some nutrition in grapes in wine.
I know what you're getting at, but yeah, yeah, true, yeah. But what I'm trying to say, you, Wendy, the trouble is, right?
Hmm.
On this program, what I do, this channel, what I do, we offer people to go into rehab,
Hmm.
right? We offer. They don't
Yeah.
pay. We offer. We put people into rehab. Put people into counselling, and we do all that. Now, when we get to the people who's on drugs and the alcohol, right? The, and when they get asked the questions and everything, would you consider going into it? Some will say, of course. The others will go, no. Then its excuse will come up. Oh, my benefits will get stopped. And and we get all that, right? So we offer them help, but the trouble is they don't want to take it because they rather have their fix.
Their fix is more of a priority to them.
Mm.
It isn't about that. There's a secondary gain at some level to the behaviour that they're doing that means that it's reinforcing something out of conscious awareness. Don't ask me what, because I'm not an expert where drug addiction is concerned. In fact, you've got a lovely lady on this channel that does about drug addiction, haven't you? I've
Yeah,
forgotten her
yeah,
name.
yeah, yeah. We
Yeah,
got a few. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So they'd be the ones that it's much better to ask that question because they've had the personal experience. I haven't. I was
When I
just
used
addicted to anxiety.
when I was when I used to go around drinking, do drinking. I remember when I was 16, I used to go out drinking with my dad, and then when I was 18, I first got married. I got married when I was 18. Now, hands up, right? I was what you call a right peed.
Yeah.
All right. Now the trouble is, so I had a lovely person. I had a lovely at that time. My wife was beautiful, lovely person, and um, and I thought to myself, she said to me, "It's either me or the drink, right?"
Mhm.
And the trouble is, she says, "Well, you got to go into a rehab, Steve." Right? I was 18. I had to go into a rehab, and I went into a rehab. I come out, right, and next minute she says to me, "Right, okay, let's go away on holiday." No, we went away on holiday. I never touched a drink, right? I was tempted, but never
Mhm.
touched a drink. But the trouble is, so on the way back, things happened, and well, I didn't have a drink at all, and I was talking to her, and I said, "Look, I don't need a drink no more." And she says, "What made you change?" And I says, "Well, I just had to change because I was a dickhead. I was, I was just messed up.
Mhm.
You know, I was just, and it did. It does mess you up, And the trouble is, so it's when you kind of like get violent, use violence and other stuff, then and you go too far,
Mhm.
then that would definitely wake you up, to your partner, and
Yeah.
when somebody says, right, you go away, get some help, or you lose your wife, or your partner, and then I'm thinking, well, okay, I'll do that.
Mm.
But I was a right right Pied.
Well, you learnt from it though, didn't you?
Well, we do learn from our mistakes, don't we?
Mhm.
I
Are you
certainly
still
do.
sober?
So,
Are you still sober?
yeah, yeah, I'm sober. Yeah, look, I'm on counter coke. I
Yeah.
don't, I don't. Only time I drink now is Christmas time, and I'll probably have a lager shandy,
Yeah.
and that's it. I don't drink no more. I have a lager shandy now and again. My wife will tell you, and and that's it. I don't need it. I don't kind of like need it. I'd rather kind of like stay off it. It doesn't kind of like do me any good anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
I mean, and all good on you is what I say. Good on you. Anyway, have you realised what time is?
yeah, I've got to go. Yeah.
It's now 2:45. We've just overrun by 15 minutes. Okay, then. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining us on Crossroads. And thank you, Steve.
Thank you. Bye bye for now.
Bye.